Kim from Fleece and Harmony with Betsy and Simone, and this is episode 138 of our Knitting and Crochet podcast. And if you're looking at this on the day that it's published, it's January 5th, 2024. Happy New Year! Simone's the sensible one. So the three of us are going to sit together for this episode as well, because it's also a little bit out of the ordinary. We're just catching up, and we're late starting the recording because we've been catching up with what everybody's doing over the holidays. So I hope you had both nice holidays.
Wonderful. Yeah, mine was great.
Simone, not so much.
I got the flu.
You got the flu, yeah. However, I did still see pictures every morning. You were still doing your run.
She is so
I walked,
dedicated.
not run.
You walked?
Yeah, I walked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was slow.
But you still went outside, which just is so inspiring.
I would have been moaning in my bed with my cup of tea, which I would have said, can you bring me a cup of tea? And Simone's still posting her pictures up. And that's not all.
No.
No. So what do you do every New Year's Day?
I go for a little polar bear swim.
Right. Yeah. So it's making me cold just thinking about it. And you took a video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to show you Simone swimming in the ocean on Prince Edward Island on January 1st.
Yep.
And maybe we'll have it running and you can tell us exactly how cold it was.
It actually wasn't as bad as it has been in previous years.
Okay.
Last year was probably the easiest because I think it was 10 degrees outside.
Oh, okay.
So this was -5. It was a little chillier.
Yeah.
But
It's so funny because 10 degrees in January is so different than 10 degrees in July.
yeah,
Yeah.
Even though it's still 10 degrees.
Right. Right.
it's all about perspective.
It's all about your mental state.
Meaning it feels warm in January, but it doesn't feel warm in July. Yeah.
No, if we woke up in July and it was 10 degrees, there's no way I'm going to the beach.
Yeah.
No, 10 degrees in January, we ought to go to the beach.
Yeah.
We do.
and get in. All right. So there's a couple, we had just a little bit of a conversation about what the actual water temperature was, but it's hard to know.
Yeah.
But you said, Simone said, well, it wasn't that bad. It was a lot better than the year that it was -22 degrees Celsius when I went in.
And slushy.
Yeah. So are you becoming soft as you age, or?
I'm not sure.
No.
Yes, I'm not sure. It might be. Could be.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever done it where you have to crack ice?
No.
No, okay.
No.
All right.
The first year we did it, it was very stupid. There was a whole bunch of girls. We decided it was a good idea, and this is how it all started. We all wanted to do it. It was on a bucket list, and we're like, okay, we're just going to do it. So we just picked a random time, and we went down to Pamir Island, and we ran and ran and ran and ran through ankle-deep slush to get to water that was deep enough that we could dive in.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
we've
because
learned.
Pamir's pretty shallow. That's right, now that I think about it.
Yeah. So we've learned that you got to pick your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you go for high tide or as close to high
Right.
tide as possible, and that way you could just get it over with.
Yeah. And
That
I
makes so much
noticed,
sense.
I was watching the video and I was like, what is she going to do? Just walk, dip, and then come out? But oh no. As you saw in the video, she dove in and then did some synchronized swimming moves as well.
I did that for my mother.
Anyway, I was just like, okay, she's amazing. All right. So that's what you did.
Yep.
And we had my mom with us since we went to get her on December 20th.
Yep.
And so that was good, but unfortunately she wasn't the only visitor we had. Yeah, so it's ironic that Betsy was working on a new little project just for fun.
Yeah.
Which is?
Oh, where'd he go? Here he is. This is my cute little friend.
Yes.
It's going to be hard to show.
Does he have a name?
We'll get pictures. Not yet, no.
No.
The name often comes to me once they have their outfit.
Oh, he's going to have an outfit.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's the reason I make these little guys. Just so I can make tiny clothing.
Okay. So I said to Simone, ironic that you actually have brought this lovely little mouse because our pantry had a little invasion. Not just one.
Oh.
No. Not just two.
Oh.
I think we're up to four now. So I don't know. I'm hoping that that's it.
Okay.
So it's, we haven't seen them anywhere in the house. It was just that we saw, and not even the normal evidence that you have.
Right.
It was that they got a little bit brazen. If they had just kept low key, we might not have even known, except that Em was very interested in the pantry door. And, then they finally, they actually chewed through a bag of chips.
Oh,
so we saw,
okay.
Chip eating mice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I always think like maybe a bag of sugar, anything wrapped like in a paper thing, but they went full on like
Plastic
foil.
Well, the granola bars.
Yes, the
cardboard
box.
foil.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's we do have a mouse come in every year in the shop because there is actually a little breach in the weather stripping in the garage, and they often come in there. So we're on top of that all the time, but in the pantry,
this was a sneak attack.
This was a sneak attack, and there were more than one. They ganged up on us.
Oh dear!
And they're really, really cute.
They are,
but you just can't have them in your pantry,
and you can't let it keep going because it's exponential.
Yes, exactly. So you really have to do something.
Yeah.
And so that's it. And then Betsy showed up with this little mouse, and I went, "Oh, isn't that ironic?"
Yeah, the only kind I can handle in my house.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's not good. So that's not a very happy note, but that was your adventure. I think we're to the end of it. We'll see. And Em will let us know. Does she actually catch any of them? No.
Oh.
But she's pretty happy to tell us that they're in there eating our food.
Yeah.
So she doesn't. She hasn't actually caught.
Come on,
Em. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway. So then we have to take other measures. So
she needs to hang out with Ginger Snap a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't actually know because we put the traps down right away. So I don't know. And so then we didn't want her to go in there. So I don't know what would actually happen if she found one. I
was going to say, you maybe didn't give her a fair chance.
Yeah, I think to be fair, we didn't let her practice.
Although I've definitely heard there are some cats that are just not interested.
Don't care
in hunting.
Yeah.
I had one that he was beautiful. He was like a big Maine Coon. Yeah. And if it was outside, he would hunt it. If it was in the house,
he figured it was part of the family.
It was a friend. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh. Yeah. So one would skitter by the floor and be like, "Go get it! Go get it!" The ones that I have now, there's no mice in the house because they just kill them right away.
Yeah.
This was something when I moved from, I would like to say we didn't have in the city, but the truth is we would get one or two in our suburban house in the city each year too. They come in for the warmth. They want to find food. So you just deal with it and you move on.
And apparently they can get into a hole the size of a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're little. They're like this long. Yeah. They're not as opposed to rats, because Betsy said tentatively, she said, "Is it big furry things or little furry things?" I said, "Definitely little furry things." Like a rat around your farm is a whole other thing. So we definitely take care of that ASAP, as we did with this as well. Yes. Anyway, you don't want things eating your food. That's for me. Anyway, so that's that. And other than that, I think everybody had a good holiday.
Yeah, we spent ours playing games.
Yeah.
We did a lot of game playing.
We did puzzles.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What were you?
We watched some of the Last Airbender.
Oh yes, you're going to talk about that in the Harmony Reads.
Yeah,
it's not technically not reading, but I'm thinking that it's based on a book.
No.
Oh, it's not?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. It might be a comic book, but I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Okay. And I think that's it for the farm update. That's
everyone's healthy. Sheep are happy.
Yes, the horses have had their blankets on, then they had them off, then they had them on.
Yeah, we have been hovering, temperature-wise, at that would be too warm for them.
They're very furry this year.
Oh,
so they can handle quite a cold weather, but when it's just around freezing, raining, and windy, it's really not fair.
Yeah. And so do you notice different years that their coat will get thicker or...
Well, I think it depends on the quality of the grass in the spring and summer before. because they had lots of really good high quality grass this year because of all the rain we had, even though that was driving us crazy. So they're exceptionally fluffy, and their hair is quite long. Yeah. It's like you see the horse and it still looks like it's got short hair, but it's like this.
Do you have to groom that off in the spring then?
Well, it will fall out naturally, but you take a brush because it gets so shaggy and ugly looking that it's just, and it's itchy for them.
Oh, okay.
So they'll just, like Purdy especially, she'll just stand there, and I don't know how long she would stand there to be brushed, but she just lets you, she just lets you brush her for as long as you want.
Oh, I think that sounds beautiful. I love the idea of horses. I will fully admit I have a bit of fear of them just from some past experiences. Not like, anyway, so I would love to stand and do that. But I'd have to, when I was out in the field helping you clean up wood one day, they just came up behind us, and they're large creatures.
Yeah, they're big. And we have big, they're big. Yeah. Our horses are
Not
big.
That they were being menacing by any means. It just, I'm completely intimidated by the size of them.
And unfortunately, they're pretty sensitive animals. Yes. So if your heart rate starts to increase, then they start to get nervous because why are you nervous? Yes. Why is the human nervous? Like it's kind of
because
like that.
The human is just,
Yeah. Anyway, so now, like, we've just put they had their blankets on, but we could take them off. It's not really, but now I think I saw rain and sleet or something. We had some sleet as well. So anyway, so everybody's good. So, and the good news is that we actually have just started to feed like properly dry hay all the time, because all of the animals that have been grazing up until about a week ago.
We actually got some snow that stuck.
Exactly. And the hay is really good quality this year too. So when they took, so it's all kind of followed. So they're all fat and
happy,
furry and happy.
Just like the rest of us after Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Did we have the conversation yet about the quality street?
Not on camera.
No. So let's start the debate.
Yeah,
put it in the comments if you've got Quality Street this
year. I was saying that I feel like every sort of Christmas gathering or party I went to, the discussion became, so what do you think about the new Quality Street packaging?
Yeah.
So Quality Streets, if you don't know, are a tin of chocolate that's very common at Christmas around here.
Yeah.
We all wait for that perfect sale for it to go on at the grocery store, and then you get your tin.
Yeah. It comes in a tin. What is it, like a pound?
I don't know.
Yeah. It used to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And then you used to be able to get giant ones.
Oh.
And I think my mother tells, I don't know if I have the story exactly right, but her uncle was in the Merchant Marine, and he always brought back a huge tin of Quality Street when he was over in the UK, and then sailed back. So that's kind of the tradition.
Wrapped in the beautiful, pretty colored foil and the crinkle, and the crinkle's gone and the pretty foil's gone.
Yeah, it's like wrapped in the same kind of paper that you get with the
Starburst.
Or the cheap.
That's exactly it.
Or the cheap candy kisses at Halloween. Not the same.
No.
So we hadn't got into we were trying to decide maybe whether it was environmentally motivated. We didn't know for sure. We hadn't done that much research. But anyway, we miss the pretty glittery stained glass looking packaging.
Yeah. So, and what are people saying? Is it unanimous?
Mostly they're mostly are not. Yeah. That's kind of that response.
Yeah.
Like, what is
this?
Yeah. Now the chocolates inside I think are the same.
Well,
so.
I have to tell you, I thought so, but now it's kind of hard to tell because some of had like the caramels had foil on them, and then the other ones had this stained glassy cellophane with foil inside, which is, I'm sure, completely environmentally disaster.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites is the purple ones.
The Brazil nuts.
No, they're not Brazil nuts. They're hazelnut inside with caramel around it.
Okay.
Oh.
So, and the chocolate over it. But they look like the shape of a Brazil nut. Yes, exactly. But it's actually a hazelnut inside. The first one I bit into, I was like, okay, well, this dull, waxy looking package, let's see if it's the same thing inside. And I bit into it, and there was no nut.
Oh.
And no caramel.
It was just caramel solid. Either. I'm pretty sure those were solid this year.
Well, so I was like, what is this? This is like, it's a chocolate. It's not, there's no nut and there's no caramel. And then my mother had one because it's also her favorite. And she said, well, mine has a nut in it. And I said, oh, okay. But she said, no caramel. Then I had a third one. It was an experiment.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to do a trial. I had a third one and it had the caramel and the nut in it.
Okay, so
I
I
think
surprise Quality Streets.
I think their QC has gone down a little bit. And so I thought I was crazy. I said, well, maybe I missed the nut in the first one.
No, I thought there was no nut.
Right.
I don't think I got a nut in the one I had. Now, I have to admit, I don't go for those ones first. I eat the strawberry and the orange cream.
Oh, okay. So you
first.
and I need to get together.
Because we'll eat up
because
the opposites.
those are the absolute last ones. The strawberry and the orange cream.
No, aren't they the caramel coins? They're always left at the end. The straight, the plain caramel. Yeah.
I like the ones with the orange foil that have like the crispy bits in it.
Yeah, that orange, an orange chocolate.
That's an orange chocolate.
But not the cream.
Yeah, exactly. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, this is weird. Ken tells a story about chocolates at his house that at Christmas time there was pot of gold. Right. Because that's the other kind of chocolate that everybody in the Maritimes gets during Christmas. Yeah. There's pot of gold and there's Quality Street. So they would have pot of gold, and famously, Granny Alma, who's Ken's grandmother, who lived to be 100, actually. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, she would eat anything anybody took a bite of and didn't like. So if you took a bite out of the corner, you handed it to Granny Alma, and she would eat it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did have surprise chocolates as a child one time. Okay. I went to a friend's family Christmas party and his uncle made homemade special chocolates. I didn't know there was the adult dish and there was the kids dish. So I got a wee burn.
That I was a bit of brandy with your bean.
Yeah. So chocolates, it's that whole Forrest Gump thing. It is a surprise. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't like what you get, you just pass it to Granny Alma. She'll eat it. So, anyway, and he tried that with me when we were first married. I don't know. No.
Eat that chocolate.
Yeah, in our house, if you bit into it, you had to eat it.
And then don't take that one again.
Yeah. So
did we do any knitting or crafting?
A little bit.
Yes.
Okay, Betsy.
Sorry. Task-oriented over here.
Yeah. We actually have quite a lot to talk about.
Yes. We do.
I don't personally have a lot to talk about, but you two have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to suggest that we start with a Marie Wallin knit-along update.
Sure.
And I actually haven't looked at the thread in a couple weeks. So have you been looking at it?
No.
Okay.
No. So I will have to catch up.
Yeah. So we'll catch up on that. But now we've been saying, you've got lots of time. But now you don't have lots of time anymore.
I'm not going to make it.
You're not going to make it?
No.
No? Oh, yes.
With my lovely shawl, my crocheted flowers. It's not going to make it in time. I'm going to finish it. Yeah. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And my hat I finished.
Yes.
Just for the wimpy hat, one hat. So I was going to do another sweater, but then I started my Kate Davies sweater instead.
Yes.
Yeah. And how many projects have you done so far?
I finished the cowl.
Yeah.
And I finished the Rianne, but that was back. Yeah. I started that before the knit along.
And now you have chestnut.
And I'm working on chestnut.
You must be getting pretty close with chestnut, are you?
I actually haven't done a whole lot. I've got about up to here, I think, on the sleeve.
Okay.
The first
sleeve. Can you see that? Up to the elbow. Bottom up.
Yeah. Okay. So from the wrist up, almost to the elbow, I would say, on the first sleeve. And I've just been working on other things. Yeah. So,
we'll just do a rundown about the rules and whatever, how
so you have until February 29th, and that is not a mistake because it is a leap year this year, to complete any project. Yeah. And she has knitting, crochet, and a mix of the two together. Yeah. In order to be eligible for prizes, you need to post a picture of your finished project in the finished object thread on Ravelry. And any pertinent details you feel like sharing. For other discussion, we have a discussion thread. So if you run into any problems, if you're looking for help, if you want to offer suggestions to other people, that's the place to do it. And it's been fairly active. Yeah, like we said, we haven't checked since the 23rd.
Yeah.
But we'll get back on that.
Yeah.
I'll get back on that.
It's all good. We're on holiday.
And the prizes that that we have for the Marie Wallin knit along, which will be just by a random draw, is that we have 2 selections of colors of Diva's Desire, 9 skeins in each box. So there's a warm colorway and a cool colorway. And we're saying that that's the first prize, but the truth is the person that we draw their name first can pick any prize that out of the 4 prizes that we have.
Yeah.
And the second prize is any Marie Wallin book that we carry in the store. So I think I have all of her books in stock. So unless they sold out over the holidays, but you can pick any one of her books. And the 4th prize is actually probably the most special one, is a skein of hand spun yarn, spun and plied by Simone. And you have it right there, I think.
I do.
It is gorgeous.
Yes. So you'll take a picture of it, I'm sure. Beautiful earthy tones.
Yes, it's very typical.
Which is funny because I would say naturally, as you all know, I go for the brighter tones. But this bit of yellow and I'm going to say like an orangey color in there. For me, it's just like there's these beautiful pops of light. So I think it's just gorgeous.
It's pretty special too. It's a nice blend. It's, let me see the tag here. 18.5 micron merino, 20% alpaca, 20% camel, and 20% mulberry silk.
Wow.
So
nice.
And it's, big surprise, a 2-ply fractal spin. So you can see the color variations there a little bit. We'll do a photo.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Just gorgeous. Yeah. I can see the drape in it.
It's just very soft and silky. Yeah. It's lovely. And did you weigh it?
No. I didn't weigh or measure it, but I will write all of that on a tag.
Yeah, okay.
And
perfect.
That way you'll know approximately.
It's quite lofty, but it also seems pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
so
quite
it's
a bit
about
of yarn.
4 ounces.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's a good size tag.
Beautiful. Okay. So those are the prizes. So February 29th at 5
o'clock.
5 o'clock Atlantic time.
Yeah.
5 o'clock Atlantic time.
Yeah.
And then we shut her down.
Yeah.
And
so we'll actually lock the thread.
We'll lock the thread and we'll do the draw, and we'll let the 4 people that have won what order their draw was, and then we'll, as we hear back from them, then we'll tell you what the prizes are. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. And then we have a big project that I really have nothing to do with it. It was Betsy and Simone that have been working on it, and we had so much fun with helping customers with the midwinter blanket that Rowan did. That was made from felted tweed. So midwinter blanket, if you want to still do that, it's a free download on the Rowan website. I'm pretty sure. If I've made a mistake, I'll say so here, but I think you can still access it. And that was a blanket that was designed by Martin Story, and as I said, knit in felted tweed. As it wasn't every week. It was like every week and a half or every 2 weeks you got a motif to do. Excuse me. And there was some repetition in the motifs. So we actually had a lot of fun helping customers pick their colors and seeing the blankets. I started a blanket, but now I can't even find the square, which I will. It's really, really nice. But Simone and Betsy said, well, we could actually make a blanket ourselves, and it's fun to have a little bit smaller projects to work on in little pieces. And so they've come up with an idea. So who wants to describe that?
Well, maybe I can give it a go.
Yeah, totally.
So, although I don't know all the exact dimensions, unless I don't hold numbers in my brain well, but I'm going to try for you. If not, Simone will help me out. Yeah. So, what we're doing, the format of it is we will release 2 squares each month. And on the first podcast in the month, we'll show you what those are. One is a motif style, and the other is like a repeating pattern, a Selbu pattern. That actually is what it is. It's a Selbu pattern.
Yeah.
And so then you can do these 2 squares each month. And at the end of the year, we're going to go all the way through the year, you'll have 24 squares to put together, which will give you a completed blanket. We haven't figured out exactly the border yet, so it will be a minimum of, if you go with our gauge, 4 feet by 6 feet is the square. So a sizable, cuddly throw that you can either share with someone or completely just wrap around yourself.
Right. And to be clear, there's colorways that Simone and Betsy have picked out, which we're going to show you the selection of colors, a cool one and a warmer one.
Yep.
Sort of, I think.
We have the cool one here.
Yeah.
We're gonna just show the one that we're actually gonna go with and create.
Because you're knitting the cool one.
Yes.
So what's going to happen is we're going to show you the first squares in a second. So on the motif, you'll have a background and the motif, and then on the all over pattern one, it's 2 colors as well. And when you do the 2 squares, you've used up a skein of each of the colors.
Yeah.
So it's alternating background and contrast on the 2 squares. And then those same 2 colors will be repeated again in 6 months. In 6 months. So you're going to have 4 squares of each color combination.
Yep.
Okay. So that will come clear as we go.
Yeah.
So the first, are we ready?
One thing that I did want to say is these are going to be available as a free download from the website. We still have to figure out how to
upload that.
Make a fun page for that.
Yep.
But we'll leave it there. So if you're late jumping on board, so say it's April and you want to start, it'll still be there and available for you to download, and you can catch up with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first podcast of the month, we'll introduce 2 squares of the blanket. We haven't even come up with a name. We'll have to, the Fleece and Harmony.
It's a PEI themed blanket.
Yes.
So a lot of our motifs as we go, you'll start to recognize or learn that they're all sort of iconic things from PEI.
Right. Okay. Now are we ready to show them?
We're ready.
Sure.
I'm so excited because I just saw them this morning for the first time. So let's start with the motif first.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So January is the Bossy Blue Jay.
Yes. They are bossy.
They are so bossy.
Yeah.
I really love them. I think they're really funny, and like they're just such characters.
They are.
Yes.
They have attitude.
Yeah.
Anybody that's watched a blue jay at a bird feeder knows like
Who's the boss?
exactly what the personalities are like.
And this is something that I find sad because they have beautiful blue foliage with black and white, little bit of black and white on it. And I like watching birds, and in my dreams I wanted to be able to see a blue bunting at some point.
Yeah.
And then I was, so sad about the fact that I haven't ever seen this bunting. And then I looked at a blue jay one day and I said, well, that's a pretty blue bird.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't have pretty birds here.
Yeah.
But we just get kind of spoiled because we see them so often.
Yeah, they're very common.
They are.
Yeah.
They're so common, in fact, that they are our provincial bird.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're starting the year off with a bang and a bossy little blue jay.
And I have to say, so for me, a blue jay used to kind of be a bit of a seasonal bird when I was in Ontario. You could spot them all year round, but here you really can. So I've enjoyed watching the blue jay all year round. For me, he was more of a winter bird in Ontario, but around here you actually see them through all the seasons.
Yeah.
So, and I have seen flocks of blue jays, which for me was new.
Yeah.
I'd only ever seen them like in singles, maybe 2.
Right. Okay.
And then we have this bush that sits right out in front of our front window, and there's a little berry that grows on it. And whatever it is, the blue jays show up about now January through February, and they eat the little like berries, and then there's these buds they eat. And so I can look out and see like 6 or 7 blue jays sitting in this bush.
Yeah.
So they're just really
amazing.
Really cool.
So, and for people that don't have blue jays in their around their environment, if you're further north, there's the whiskey jays in the north of Canada, and the blue jay is very similar, except the whiskey jays are gray.
Yeah. Are they a bit smaller?
They're different.
I
don't know. I can't remember if they're smaller or bigger, or smaller or larger, but it's the same kind of shape.
Yeah.
In fact, I when I saw one when Ken and I had a little holiday in the north one year I saw them and I thought, well, how come their blue jays are so gray looking? Well,
These dull blue jays?
Yeah, these are dull blue jays. They're not blue jays, they're whiskey jays.
But they're kind of, they faded.
Yeah, they kind of look the same, but they're different birds. But it's a very peculiar shape.
Yeah,
too,
they have that little crest
on their head.
Yeah.
And they're very vocal.
Yes.
So if you're out walking ever in the woods and you kind of hear that first call, it's probably a blue jay alerting everyone else around that you've arrived.
Yeah. They're not beautiful singers.
They're the gossips of the woods.
Yes. Okay. And then the pattern to go with
it is playing off the fact that the blue jay has a bit of a chevron kind of style on its tail.
Yeah.
So then you've got your matching square in the chevron. And the idea with these squares is that they're a little bit more less intellectually intense in terms of, so when you're doing a motif here, there's a lot you have to pay attention and counting. I'm keeping these ones hopefully fairly repetitive so that they're kind of the rest square of the
and they're coming from the Selbu pattern book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you might want to turn that around.
I was just going to say that here. Show your floats. Your beautiful, beautiful floats.
Okay, folks, I don't do this on Fleece and Harmony because I usually say nobody needs to see my undergarments, but I'm proud of it this time. So there you go. First time ever.
Lovely.
And this is, so we didn't mention, you are going to be knitting and purling in color work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at first I was a little bit intimidated by that, but once you get your rhythm, I found not very difficult at all. Do you have to pay a little extra attention to your chart? Absolutely. Yeah. But we can talk you through how to read that as well.
Yeah.
But the actual motion of doing it, not bad at all. And I'm even tempted to say, I think my floats are better tensioned when I do color work flat than when I do in the round.
Really?
Because in the round, I think I keep everything too close together. In the flat, I just have more space. And so they end up being nice and flat.
Your fabric is beautiful.
Yeah,
thank you.
It is.
Yours too. I am really excited about this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice blanket.
It is. Yes. And I really hope you folks join us.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So what will happen is that in the first podcast associated newsletter of the month, then we will give the links to the patterns as well, but we'll also put the links in the website because obviously now we're just telling you about it. So if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, you're going to have to go onto the website and find the link to the pattern.
Yeah.
But people that have the newsletter, you already have the link in the newsletter with the picture of the patterns of the week. Yeah. So you'll have kind of a first look of it. Okay.
So should we show them the whole color scheme we're going to do for this one? I'm going to need some help.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously,
start passing yarns.
Yep. So the first one, we'll do them one at a time. So these are not necessarily in the order that
I'll try to put it in order.
I'll try. Do you have the order memorized?
Maybe.
That's good. Great.
I have my book.
Okay. So the first, the blue jay and the chevron motif are going to be made out of November Sky and A Night Without Stars. So though in Selkirk worsted. So those are the yarns that you need to buy if you want to follow the motif that or the colorway that we're doing. You of course can pick any two colorways you want, but you'll see where we're going when we show you all of the colors. So the first January is A Night Without Stars and November Sky, and then I'm assuming that this will also be used in July.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these two colors. We need two more skeins for the July blocks.
Yes. So these two hanks will do January's blocks.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then they will reappear in July for July's block. Two new skeins of it, and you don't need to worry because color, it doesn't have to be the same lot. It'll be but that if you want to buy the 4 right away, then you can do that as well. Okay,
we'll make sure all that information is included in the first release of the first block.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got, so here's a new one you're going to run across, Kim. This color is actually new to the store.
Yeah. So some of the colors are colors that we have already, and other colors are new colors that we're introducing. So this is February's block. And we won't tell you what the motif is, but it's February's block, and the colors are Lilac is the light one, and Mulberry Jam, which is a new burgundy that we're launching, is going to be the contrast color, or vice versa. Okay, so again, so then February and August. Yes. Let's see if I can get through the whole year matching up this.
I've got a cheat sheet.
Okay. Good. So February and August will be lilac and mulberry jam. Okay, and then we have March and September.
Yep.
Is going to be dune grass, which is an existing color, paired with sumac, which is also an existing color. These come from the green gradient that we did, and that will be March and what did I say?
September.
Okay, March and September. I think I said August, did I? I don't know. Anyway, September. All right, and then we have another purple selection for April and October, and it's crocus and one of my personal favorite purple coneflower. So that will be the next one. And then we have May. May and October. November. Oh, okay. Sorry. May and November. We have sand and chestnut. You weren't influencing this one, were you? No. Okay. Sand and chestnut. And then the final one is going to be, I know that's December, and June. Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
Slate and pearl. Will be that. So I'm going to try to hold all of them up. I don't know if we can do that so that you can see everything together.
You can do
Am I getting the knob?
It's okay. No worries. Just if you can get them all, I'll be impressed. Here we go.
Okay. And then you need this times 2 to finish the blanket.
And here's one. There you go.
Okay. So I'm going to do that. The producer is going to tell me if we can see it. Okay, excellent. So that's a fun little project. And then we have on the alternate week of podcasts, so the second podcast of and we're just talking about the Knitting and Crochet podcast, where this has nothing to do with Harmony Reads. So on the second podcast of the month, we seem so organized. I don't know. We had this.
We had that day that the power was out.
Yeah,
we got a lot done.
Yeah, we got a lot done. We're going to do something special every month on that, and it's a dyeing project. So Betsy will describe what we're going to do.
So we're going to take either a new variegated or one of our existing variegateds, and we're just going to show you folks what to put together with it to give you ideas of kind of pairings that you maybe wouldn't think of, because it's tricky when you're looking online. You can't necessarily move those squares together. Right. So we'll show you some that just look great together, and included in that, we're going to have one limited release color each month as well that will go with that collection, be it a variegated or a solid. I don't know yet.
So we're going to plan that.
This one will happen as we go. We'll create. I had the first few sort of ideas out there, but we're just going to allow ourselves to have some fun with our colors.
That's right. Yeah. So just to be clear, the first Knitting and Crochet podcast of the month, you'll get a new block or 2 new blocks for your blanket, and the second podcast we'll do a color story, basically. And sometimes it'll be new colors, sometimes it'll be limited editions, and but we'll always have something new or limited with it, with the colors, existing colors as well. So I hate to be kind of picky about this, but what happens if on the third podcast of the month, we'll have 2 or 3
Guess we'll just have to get creative.
Yes, it'll be a surprise
for all of us.
Exactly. Okay, so that's good. So we have something to look forward to for every podcast. So that's great, and I can hardly wait to see, because these gals already have all of the motifs picked out about what they're doing for the blanket, and I haven't even seen all of them yet. So
we haven't even told you.
Yeah, I know. And I'm learning things as we go along as well. So it's great. Okay, so just a little catch up on the next thing is hats. So last episode we talked about the fact that I wanted to do a little bit of stash busting, and we had some yarn here in the shop that we don't sell, so we wanted to use it up because it was just kind of sitting here like the shop stash, sort of. And Simone is famous for using up her stash, but me not so much. And I decided that I would knit my stash into hats of simple pattern. So we talked about the Barley hat by Tin Can Knits, and then I also showed the regular guy Beanie by, I forget who, it's a guy that wrote it, but there'll be a link. And either one of those projects is really super simple. And when the hats are done, we have a community pantry here, I'm just taking the hats down to the community pantry. So here's a couple comments that we had. The first one was, what are you making the hats of? Because not everybody is going to work with wool. Well, I only knit with wool, so my hats are all going to be wool. And if the person doesn't wash them properly, they're going to have small hats.
Or you could just stick a little tag on it when you put it there that says 100% wool.
Yeah.
And then folks can choose what they want to do with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's it. And I just did the first hat. I didn't pay any attention to the gauge. I just knit, and I knit at a tight gauge. And my regular guy hat is actually a regular person hat, child's hat. I don't want to say guy or girl or whatever. It's it's perfectly simple. I just put a little stripe because I had a little bit of this green left.
That's cute.
It's definitely small. So somebody, I think it was your hat that they were looking at saying looked small.
Yeah.
But Simone knit hers at the right gauge. She didn't bring them this time, but she knit them at the right gauge, and they fit an adult hat.
Beanies always look small because it's fully fitted, right?
Yes, exactly.
So my husband often asks me to make them, and every time I'm making one, I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, trust me, like, we've done this a few times. It'll be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this one is actually small. So it's a child's beanie. It's not the regular guy. It's the regular kid, the regular kid hat. But that's okay. The whole idea is just to knit and to give it away, and somebody that
somebody's going to
enjoy a wool hat will have it, and that yarn is just not languishing in my thing. And that's not all about hats. We have Simone has created a new pattern. Yes. That is for sale.
Yes.
Okay, great. So do you want to show
teased you guys too much with the other ones.
Yes. Did you give your cowl to your friend?
Not yet.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
I didn't want her to feel like it was a Christmas gift.
And
she was,
okay.
Yeah. I just wanted it as like
you.
As a present, just
nice.
something fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So,
but you've been obviously busy.
I have been.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using up bits and pieces from my stash.
Right.
And this is the Selbu Stars hat pattern.
So cute.
Gorgeous. Considerably bigger than my beanie.
I'm at a loss. What have you got going on here? What colorways are there? I know the red one.
I know
Wild Rose.
Yeah.
Wild Rose. Okay.
Yeah.
And Cranberry.
It's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Wild Rose has got those little fuchsia. Well, you're going to take a picture.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Bramble and Sand.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. So really nice. Beautiful.
I really enjoy the Bramble and Sand together.
Yeah. But there.
That's what I've been having fun doing lately, is pairing some of our lightest colors with different variegateds we've got going on.
Yeah. And as always, the pom-poms.
Your beautiful homemade pom-poms.
Yeah. So how much yarn does it take? I know you're doing stash, but is it it's not obviously not a skein of each, but
no, it's approximately 120 yards, and that's being generous. You can usually use a little bit less
for the whole thing.
I think with the pom-pom, it's maybe 135. I put it as 140.
Okay.
In the pattern just to be safe.
Okay.
So that you have enough.
No one wants to play yarn.
And nobody wants a skimpy floppy pom-pom.
Exactly. Yeah. You want a nice full pom-pom.
Yeah.
So what is the name of the pattern?
It's Selbu Stars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
So I just kept it nice and simple.
Beautiful.
I've been leafing through one of my motif books and felt inspired.
Yeah.
So I created the Selbu stars.
Yep, and if you want to have a great stitch dictionary on Selbu patterns, the Selbu pattern book, which we carry, is a great resource, and you can find all kinds of motifs. And they have a lot of the star patterns in there, different types of. Yeah, there's the 8-pointed, and they've got some with 4. I don't know if they call that still the star or not, but they're all in there. They're perfect. Okay, excellent. So Selbu stars.
Yeah, that pattern is going to be available on Ravelry on Friday, so the day that this airs. Yeah. And the viewers, if you're interested in purchasing it, you get a coupon code for 20% off. Excellent. So I'm just going to write Starry Night, all one word, lowercase letters, and that will give you 20% off on Ravelry.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Nice. All right. So another hat. Yep. Excellent. Beautiful.
It's hat season.
Yes, exactly. So, and Betsy has continued her.
Well, I'm making a set here.
Yes,
so if you remember, I had the mitts, so I'm now doing the hat. So this is my biscotti hat, cranberry biscotti. So the long folded brim, the Estonian braid, the lice pattern, and I'm going to go good and slouchy because I had one I did recently, and true to wool, it bounced a bit up on me, and just that inch, it's now just not hanging right where I want it, so I'm going to go for it. And then I've picked out the perfect pom-poms. We have pom-poms here. I picked out the perfect one to go with it, and that'll just finish it off. So I'm thinking, I picked this up basically like... So I'm funny. I have my like serious knitting time. And then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of tired of knitting. I should move on to something else. Well, I'll just do an easier knitting time.
Yeah. Perfect.
So this is my easier knitting time because I don't have to look at a pattern or a chart or anything. I just make it up as I go. And I'm so sorry, folks. I'm still not a pattern writer, designer yet. Maybe someday, but right now
you're just having fun. It's relaxing.
It's relaxing.
So this is the Roseberry Rambouillet in plover and cranberry. Yeah. So that's that, and then this will be folded up, or no, it's already folded. Yes. So you've got a nice thick. Or like a wide band.
It used almost 160 yards just to make my band.
Wow. Okay.
But I wanted it to feel like if I were to make a headband on. So that's why I went good and wide. I just wanted the ear part really solid. Because I live up on a hill. PEI is windy. And then I live up on a hill. We get significant wind in the winter. So this is my like dead of January hat. Where I'll still probably have to put my hood up. Dog walking.
So, so how many skeins of...
So far, I've used an entire one of plover, and I have about this much left of the cranberry. So I'm going to go into the second cranberry. I've started the second plover with the lice pattern. So I gave myself 2 skeins each, and they're 160 yards, I believe, at 50 grams. Is that right? Yeah. So I just didn't want to feel like I needed to shorten it at all.
So you're going to have some of the plover left over.
I'll have some of both left over.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. For sure.
Okay.
It's probably a ball and a half of each.
It's still a great color combination.
Love it.
Yeah. I do have a question for you. Yeah. Are you going to do the little rosette on a hat too?
I don't know, because I was thinking if I put a pom-pom, the rosette might be too much. Yeah. But years ago, I made a crocheted hat in I think it's called like a newsboy style or something, where it has a bit of a brim. I might make another one of those and then put like a real rosette on there. So, so I'm going to try. I had done it when I did it the first time. I did it out of a very chunky yarn. So I just want to see if I can do it with a finer yarn. Anyway, that's on the horizon. I'm into hats right now, so I've been hats for a long time.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So Roseberry Rambouillet in cranberry and plover. Okay. Excellent. All right.
And that's all. I mean, I had other bits and pieces of things I was working on, but we did a lot of game playing. So and I promised my family I would pay attention to the games.
So you weren't knitting.
I wasn't knitting while I was game playing. It is also hard to hold a handful of cards and try, because then you're constantly,
So I actually didn't do much knitting, but I did do knitting. I finished my hat that we already saw, and I pulled out Wright, and this is the Kate Davies pattern that I'm doing with point prim sock yarn held with Kid Silkays. In the pattern, this is a cropped pattern, so the body is only supposed to be 10 inches, but I'm not making it cropped because I don't really do cropped very well. So I'm doing a 15-inch body. So it's kind of a little bit longer than a regular pullover length, but not a tunic.
Like hip bone?
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I think that's the length that I usually use too.
15?
And it's the length that I use for my trait too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just a nice, hides a lot of.
Well, you can raise your
Quality
arms
street.
and put them back down, and you don't have to show off your quality street.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of quality street. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. So I have actually made quite a lot of progress. So I'm on my second ball of the sock yarn. So that's 400 yards, and I'm on my third ball of the Kid Silk Haze. So I have been working on it. It's just doesn't show. And I'm down to, it's 14 inches now. Right. So I have just an inch more to do. And I did a couple rows after I measured it yesterday. So that's making progress. And I say it every time. It's just really, really nice to knit with.
It's lovely. Yeah. And I don't really make like New Year's resolutions, but sometimes I have crafting goals. And a 2024 crafting goal for me is to try this whole held together thing. I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm loving the look of people's end results. So I really just need to give it a go.
Yeah. Especially since we have that Knitting for Olive book too.
I know. It's just so gorgeous.
Somebody gave us Knitting for Olive books for Christmas.
Yes.
We're spoiled.
Yeah. So, and they hold a lot of stuff with mohair too. Yeah. Same kind of aesthetic. So, okay. All right, so that's the trait, and Simone has spinning, and I see that you have English paper piecing on the agenda as well. Okay, so you finished I
finished my spindle spun, and
the support spindle.
Plied it on spindles, and I need practice plying on spindles because my plying isn't as nice as I would like it. It's not my typical plying. So I'll take some close-up photos so you can see. It's just a little bit more loosely plied than I usually enjoy for my own hand spun.
So we had a conversation a few episodes ago about can you ply on the support spindle?
Oh, that was last episode. I asked that.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
And I need a lot of practice.
You didn't even know if you could do it.
Yeah, so I can do it. But the spindle moves in the opposite direction. Right. So it feels really weird. I'm used to flicking it a certain way.
Oh.
So now I'm like fumble.
Because you're moving it in the opposite direction to do the plying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's a muscle brain training
definitely.
thing. Yeah.
Definitely. So I made it through.
Yeah.
But I think
Did you swear?
Oh. I brought out the island swear words.
Oh, I don't even know those. Do I need to know those?
You can teach Kim later.
Yeah, we'll not share those here.
I'm a big swear word collector.
Me too. I collect them in different languages as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, this is a club I'm not part of.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear my Spanish.
Well, it means nothing. If you don't understand what the language is, it's just a word. Yeah.
So after some trial and tribulation, I did complete the hank, and
it's beautiful.
I'm okay with it.
An untrained eye says it is gorgeous looking.
Yeah. And a more trained eye still says it's gorgeous because when you knit it, you're not going to be able to tell the plying anyway.
Yeah. But I'm fussy.
Yes, well, but that's it. You want to improve on a new skill, so that's it. It's gorgeous.
So it's definitely going to take some practice plying on the support spindles.
I think you need to do a demonstration at some point for us, just plying. I've never seen hand plying done. I'm sitting here trying to even envision what that looks like. So it'd be cool if sometime in the future we'll get her to do a demonstration.
Well, maybe I'm almost finished my what was it?
Your sweet Georgia.
No. Yes, I know, but what did we start it at? Spinning.
The Tour de Fleece.
Tour de Fleece. Yes. So Tour de Fleece, that was in June. I have just this much left.
Nice.
So that will be done. So maybe we'll record me plying.
That would be great. I'd love to see that.
That's on a regular spinning wheel, but we'll start with
I've
that.
just never seen hand plying of
that
kind.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a big machine out back that does it lickety split, but I can't envision this.
Yeah. It's definitely more magical with a wheel.
more control.
There's less swearing.
Sort of that rhythmic sound.
Yes, and that's it. It's like with a wheel, it's just kind of feeding it and feeding it and feeding it, and there's that rhythm of the wheel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, there's some cursing and then some more cursing.
Well, you're manually starting the spin on a regular basis, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
it needs
seeing
some
bits and
practice.
pieces in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do to challenge myself, because I also do crafty goals, is I'm going to have to do some little bats. So like 20 gram bats, since I have my drum carder at home, and I'll practice the little bats with my support spindle plying.
Because
it's little.
Ply more frequently?
Yes.
Yeah.
So just a little amount, and that way I get over myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, I don't want to spoil the suspense, but you just ply is just basically turning whatever you're spinning with in the opposite direction.
I'm just
with
trying,
holding the strands.
Right. I was just trying to figure out, like, she had like 5 spindles there the other day. So I'm like, how do you spin 5 tops at one time? Like, this just sounds.
It's only a 2-ply.
It's one after another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have
So it's
them
not
in
two,
like
two after 2 others.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a maximum number of plies that you could do hand plying?
Really, it's just whatever you're comfortable with.
Sorry.
Because
So-
you can kind of, I've done 5.
I was going to say, so you would do the 2, then you would add the 3rd to it, then you would, is that how that would?
Yeah, so it's just like on the plier where, when the bobbin starts to get low up top,
Yep.
you just add in a new
Feed
one.
another one in.
Yep.
But you're always working, in the case of a 2-plied yarn, you're always working with 2 plies
strands.
at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to figure out. So then how do you do a 5-ply? Like, do you have 5
You would put
plies?
5 through at once.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I've done it a couple of times. It's not my favorite thing.
Okay.
Because I have one strand over each finger and I tension with my fingers.
Oh,
and
wow.
that is definitely a wheel thing.
Okay.
It's not a spindle thing. Probably ever for me.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Simone like chasing these spindles around the table.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's that all we were going to talk about? Because we
I
had
had
the
my
hand spun.
Paper pieces.
Yes, but we had the hand spun for the Marie Wallin, and we
Yes.
had your finished skein, so that's it. Okay. And then I snuck in my progress about my thing, which I
should probably just take some pictures.
because I actually am finding time to spin because I have my wheel right behind where my computer is. So when I'm out here doing things like waiting for the internet to load something, which happens more often than you may think, then I've just been diligently pulling over the wheel, and you make good progress.
It's great because if it's right there, it's in your mind.
Yeah. And instead of, so now what's happening is I was like, oh my God, how long is this going to be or whatever? I'm drumming on my fingers, getting frustrated. And then I said, well, I'll just put my wheel here and I'll turn around this chair around and do it. And now I'm like, I'll look over at the computer. Oh, it's done. It's done already. New perspective completely.
Yeah. And you enjoyed spinning in the meantime.
Exactly. I did. The time flew. Yes. All right. So English paper piecing.
Yes.
I think that I'm going to be very interested because some of these, to be honest, the fish one, I wasn't really, it's nice.
It's not my favorite, but I was using up scraps.
I know. But now the next one,
Yeah.
I'm really, okay. So let's see the finished.
This is the first one
Okay.
of my Catan quilt, as we're lovingly calling it.
Yes.
So this is the chickens. It's my farmyard
Yeah.
block or hex.
So now you've got all of the center ones no longer have paper, but because you're joining these, still have to join these still have the little paper templates in them.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So
I figure I'll just do like little regions, kind of like Catan, where I have a different theme for each region.
yeah, it's cute.
And it's going to be fun.
Okay.
The next one is my sea theme one. So I have a little crab in the middle and then some salmon, mermaid scales. And this is supposed to be kind of like water, but to me it looks more like ice. So maybe we're ice fishing here. I'm not really sure.
Maybe we're cold dipping at minus 22 in the sun. Okay, so this is cute. So,
and then this one was from Joanne when we did that fabric exchange. And it's kind of a woodsy-ish one. The pieces that I was going to put around the outside, the fabric is slightly different. I think it feels like flannel.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to mix the quilting cotton with the flannel.
Right.
So I just kind of set this one aside for now, but it's got like trees, stars, and then leaves and buds.
It had kind of like a pine tree look to it, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there'll be something you'll run across that will have
So
that again.
this color palette, I love this. And this is exactly we moved into the half of the house that's mostly like 98% finished now over Christmas. So we're thinking about how we're going to decorate the other part. But I'm thinking I'm going like with this kind of burgundy and greenish or olivey. This is not olivey, it's more turquoisey, but olivey color because I think I'm going to make a library in my other room.
Yes.
That will be gorgeous.
Might be a little. The room is kind of dark. So
But the best
just get
libraries
good lighting.
are.
I know.
Yeah.
So then I'm
Yes.
thinking, you just go with it
Yeah.
because I don't want to build a sunroom on the side of it.
No.
But anyway, this is beautiful. So
And
this
besides,
is
sun
out my
damages
street.
books, so
Yeah, exactly. You need
it's
to
got to be
careful.
dark.
Yeah, you don't store your books in the solarium.
No,
True
that's
story.
right. That's right. So this one.
Can you tell we've
Yeah.
been playing Clue over there?
Oh,
The library and the ballroom and the solarium and the
Yeah.
dining room.
And speaking of books, I have some Anna Green Gables themed fabric
yeah.
that I got from Melissa forever ago, and I'm
beautiful.
finally putting it to use. So I
Yeah.
fussy cut Anne, and she's going to be the center.
Fussy cut.
Yeah, that's
It's beautiful.
And then you could like
this-
even add book theme ones.
Yeah, so
That's
see,
what I'm
this
hoping.
is actually like the same kind of either this or this color scheme so now I'm doing my interior design. But this is gorgeous. This is like very Victorian, traditional,
Yeah.
right up my street.
Yeah.
Yeah. As opposed to trout.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah. And that was left over for making face masks.
Okay, no, sockeye salmon, I
So
believe.
today we've
I
established
believe-
that Kim is not an angler.
Unless I'm looking for an angle.
Oh.
We're off the rails now.
Yeah, okay. It's totally
This
going
is
down.
so cute.
It's
And
beautiful.
she has inspired me, but have so many things on the go. I'm doing a slow collection of all my supplies. So I might
you?
this time sometime this year you'll probably see me start into an English paper piecing
Yeah,
project too.
but you're picking your things.
I'm getting
and
all
the-
my pieces together. So
Yeah.
one month I bought like inspirational book, and then another month I bought some embroidery floss.
okay,
And
nice.
my latest purchase was I got lazy and I just bought the paper
Yeah.
pieces.
Oh.
Last time I cut them out by hand out of like cracker boxes and stuff. This time I was like, I'm just buying them.
You're getting soft.
I am.
You admitted it though.
I know,
That's all right.
but it was
That's
because
cool.
it was like I can cut these out and cut into my other knitting time, or I can just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's
And
right.
then you have stacks just ready to roll.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it.
Yeah.
So the next thing is the harmony part, and there was a beautiful, beautiful night a couple of nights ago when it was like a navy blue dark outside our patio door, and the snow was gently falling, and we flicked on the porch light, and you could just see large flakes floating down. So you're going to enjoy that beautiful snowy night with some beautiful music, and we wish you a great 2 weeks. And if you want to join us on the reading podcast, we will see you next week, actually. So have a joyful 2 weeks and enjoy a snowy, wintry night. Bye.